Nothing but an illusion. The Wuhan monster does not exist. My hands are not doing magic in front of you. But healthcare sucks! It is back. Okay, we're going to jump right into it tonight. First of all, we use the Fair Use Act. Nothing you see here with the hands is real. And until the Wuhan monster is knocking at your door, which seems like he's running away right now, isn't he? I mean, states are opening up. It's like crazy. I mean, is it too early? Is it too late? What the hell? I mean, who really knows with this situation? While China, I just was reading up on it, is having a second round, guys. But this is America. We've discussed this. For people to just lock down, and they are hiding things from us. Bottom line, guys. They're hiding a lot of things from us. So with that being said, I want to share a story that happened in my neighborhood yesterday. So you think they are not, or were not, let's say, prepared for martial law? Right up the street from where I live, and this is out in the country situation, one of the neighbors had a airsoft gun and was shooting some cans. Now take it, this is out of city limits. People shoot guns all the time out here. You probably going to hear a gun a few times a day. Some crazy person, or didn't like this person, let's say, decided to call the cops and report there was some sort of domestic going on, and there's an AR-15 being shot and all this other stuff. So, not just one sheriff, not just two sheriffs, 5 sheriffs in full tactical gear. I don't have the video because the guy was so afraid when they showed up and they told him not to touch his phone. Get that. They didn't want him to take no videos or have any proof of this. So we had 5 sheriffs, full tactical gear, and 1 state patrol. While the state patrol sat with the gentleman in the front of his house when he came out and seen all this action going on, the wife and his children were more or less, guarded and put in a corner, more or less, while they did a search. And then they brought the guy down, and it became clear that this was an airsoft gun, and it was legal, and it was outside the city limits to begin with. So, it's, sorry guys. We have a blabberjaw outside right now. Yeah, one of my family members, blah, blah, blah. Excuse me. She'll probably knock at my door next, so forgive me. But it's how it is when you have family members over and you're trying to make a video. Haven't you ever done that? Trying to make a video and you got family members going blah, blah, blah? Anyway, at least they're having fun, right? Okay, so they go through everything and they decide, well, oops, we made a mistake. This was a legal situation. It was a false call. And literally, they came down on this like full tactical ARs hanging off their bulletproof vests and everything. So I thought I would share that. So if you think they aren't prepared out there around the corner, don't be mistaken. This could happen anywhere at any time. And they no longer are packing just police with a gun uniforms. We're talking, when these guys came out, it was full tactical gear. Keep in mind, we only have 1 or 2 sheriffs out in my area on duty at any time. Somehow, out of the blue, we had 5 sheriffs show up and a state patrol. So I just thought I would share that. There's a lot of police present out there, guys. I don't know in your particular areas, but you can bet your butt they might not be doing this or doing that, but they sure, the minute it seems like there's some kind of tipping the scale situation, man, they were all over it. So with that, we're going to jump right in and listen to a little of this news tonight about, are we opening too soon?
Owners are split.
There's a fear factor of reopening, but at at some point in time, we have to try.
To think that we would be open before the 5th of May seems crazy.
And today in Oklahoma, the governor allowing all spas, salons, and pet grooming places to reopen. What have you been telling customers when they walk through your doors?
You have to have a mask. There's no waiting. I want people to be able to come and get a good haircut, not leave with COVID.
In neighboring Texas, there is still a stay-at-home order. Salon owner Shelley Luther received a citation, but is staying open, saying she can't afford not to.
It is their personal choice as an American to come into the salon if they want to, and they have that right.
And restaurant owner Matt Rice is opening tonight despite receiving conflicting signals. Our Morgan Chesky is there.
Your mayor says you can open. The governor says you can't. Where does that put you?
Right in the middle.
What do you do?
I open. I think it's the right thing to do.
Tonight, Iowa's governor announcing as of Monday, elective surgeries can resume and farmers markets can reopen. Elsewhere, calls to lift lockdowns are growing louder, including people taking to the streets in Wisconsin. Though a new poll suggests many Americans are concerned about moving too fast. 80% say if restrictions were lifted tomorrow, they are unlikely to go to places that draw crowds. Back in Atlanta, Tony says he and his wife barely made it through the last 6 weeks.
If it had not been for her, my colleagues, it would have been really tough.
Back to business, but nowhere near business as usual. Blaine Alexander, NBC News, Atlanta.
As states and cities weigh in on getting back to business, the death toll hit another sobering milestone today, as we said.
This part I do want you guys to check out. The death toll's like enormous, guys, still. The weird thing is they're not telling us exactly who these people are, what their employment is. I know a lot of it's nursing homes, guys. So like I've covered before, I believe the elderly were definitely engineered in this bioweapon. And don't kid yourself, this was a bioweapon. By the way, the Fauci mystery, I have no idea. I've been trying to research it. The guy was out, the guy was in. He was guilty of making some backdoor deals with the Wuhan laboratory over there and giving millions of dollars. Sounds like behind the government's back door or something, or behind the president's back. However, he's back and he seems to be running the show. While Trump sits there and folds his hands till he can't take anymore. And then he goes off and he gives another whole line of the way he feels about it. So, bottom line, guys, and only you can make this decision. I can tell you today I went out and I did not have gloves. I did not have a mask. I felt in my area, I took precautions. I stayed the 6 feet distance thing. And I went shopping. And I even had a piece of chicken from the little place where, you know, they cook chicken in the store kind of thing. I would not recommend that in the bigger cities. But on the outskirts, in my town, we've had 5 confirmed and 0 deaths. So that tells you there's another whole picture going on in the rural areas compared to the cities. The cities seem to be where this thing is just rampant. And that brings me into Agenda 21 and One World Order. What a better way always to have spread things than in the bigger cities and the bigger populations. Just like it got here via airplane, and I covered it. Weird little Chinamen and weird little masks were in Italy, France, and all these locations, and in America, come to find out, with a little pan out there saying, "I'm poor, I need help, hug me." Okay, then when they had the dinner over there, the big, I don't remember how many hundreds of people were given free food. And then it was definitely spread out of their wet market too. I mean, so the bottom line is, and the deeper we go, the more weird it gets. Come to find out, Wuhan was actually experimenting with creating viruses with the knowledge of the United States. And Fauci, squiggly guy, the Nazi-looking little punk that works for Trump, and I don't use that word lightly. That guy is definitely evil and not trustworthy. But so they actually worked on this thing over there. Now that's not to say it didn't come from Canada originally. We all know how they do things. Steal this, steal that. And the deeper we go, we had our own people working over there with these guys. So, I mean, strange things, guys. And I'm sure you've been watching lately, as I've been watching, this push to release people is just, I don't know. It's just strange. I knew that you could not lock down America, especially with summer coming. I will leave it at that. Let's watch this about the death toll.
Over 50,000 people killed by this virus already in America. And while some areas are now seeing a bend in the curve, some states are seeing their deadliest days yet. Here's Miguel Almaguer.
As our country battles an unprecedented pandemic, tonight our national death toll surpassing a grim benchmark. More than 50,000 lives lost. The staggering number of Americans gone could fill the stands at Coors Field in Denver. 2,400 people died yesterday alone. In the state of Illinois, where the curve is said to be flattening, a record number of deaths and cases has just been logged.
Right now, we're just going day to day. It seems like years.
Keeping a video diary on her birthday, Dr. Michelle Prickett enters another overnight shift at the ICU at Northwestern.
I think everyone on my team knows that life will never be usual again.
While cases are plateauing in big cities, in much of the heartland, the struggle continues. Over the past week, a daunting increase in the number of patients in states like Nebraska, Iowa, Arkansas, South Dakota, and Oklahoma. At this meat packing plant outside Green Bay, production hasn't stopped despite a growing number of sick employees. At Smithfield Foods in Sioux Falls, after a rash of COVID cases, the plant now given the okay by the CDC to reopen. Itzel Goitia says she caught the virus while working at a packing plant in Kansas.
Okay, with that, did you notice she's selling the world will never be the same. It's never going to be the same again. Well, if it's not the same again, guys, it's because this one world order agenda and these people that have got this agenda to do whatever they're going to do and more control over the population, guys. Don't kid yourself. That's exactly what this is. I'm not saying there isn't something out there. There obviously is. However, I've been running the numbers comparing it to the flu, and we haven't even got there yet. Who's to say? And who's to say from the beginning what the real numbers are? You know, the bottom line, guys, is will we ever know? Will we? I'm not sure we will, because they control the all the media. They control basically YouTube, Facebook, and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I've literally been posting the truth about articles from other places, and Facebook's coming on and showing these little banners that says, this is like, you know, some other kind of false report. Well, it's not false when it's coming out and there's pictures and there's evidence. So they're covering it up and candy coating it, guys. And tapping it down. They've been tapping it down for a long time. And then when they want to turn it up, they turn it up a notch, you notice? And everybody gets all scared again. Remember one thing. Remember this. There always is going to be a bad guy. This time it's the Wuhan monster. Last time it was Al-Qaeda or Bin Laden or whoever you want to name. There has to be a bad guy to pull us out, to keep the war machine going, somebody for us to fight, somebody up for us to conquer. Excuse me. If you side there, it's not the Wuhan. I'm safe. I apologize for a couple of my videos the other day. I had a little medical thing. It's not related to any of that. I'm feeling better. I'm hoping that it keeps going this direction, let's say. But I try not to bring my life and interrupt you guys. You're awesome. You always care about me, and you send your love, and how, you know, that's cool because I care about you guys too and love you. And Team 99, you're awesome, man. You're kicking butt out there. I know you're protecting yourself. With that, all we can do is keep an eye on everything. Now, if they're going to start it looks like they're going to start things back up. The thing to do is to watch these numbers. The other thing is they were falsifying numbers. They were caught in it, throwing together anybody who died in the area that had the virus all of a sudden had the Koopa. I call it Koopa now, by the way. Or Wuhan monster. You know that if you've been watching. If you haven't, this is Healthcare Sucks. We don't candy coat. We just throw it out at you and you decide what you want to believe. So let's take another look at what they have to say.
It's impossible to social distance because, we're right next to people. We're touching boxes. We're touching labels. We're touching the meat.
Here in LA, where the death toll just spiked to another daily high, more people are dying from COVID-19 than anything else. 89.
And that's another thing. Believe me, I've watched and I went out there and watched people too. And I've done it myself. Even if you change your gloves every time you stop, and even if you do all these procedures, the person sacking your food has the same gloves on. They touch the other guy's stuff, is bagging your stuff, giving you change. You're putting it in your wallet. I've gone to the point to even when I get home, I take all the money out of my wallet, put it in a bag, and store it for a while. All of my money. But it could be on your wallet. Do you get what I'm saying, guys? The bottom line here is there's really no way to run away from it or be 100% unless you're so germophobic that you go full gear like you see some people doing. And then at your doorstep, you strip down. Like I said, put all that stuff in a trash bag, seal it up, leave it out, or take it right in, throw it in a hot load of laundry with bleach, and then dispose of the bags somehow. It becomes to the point where no matter how hard you try, you still could be susceptible. And I'm not trying to freak anybody out or paranoid anybody, but if you think all we can do is try. Now, I do agree about the washing your hands. I'm not a big one on the... that was my dog. Sorry. I'm not a big one on the alcohol wash wipey stuff. The cleansers, germ-free, little jelly crap. I've always been more of you wash your hands real good and wash them. Maybe even twice and rinse them with hot water and dry off. Knock on wood, I'm doing okay so far. Now, as we go on with this, I'm very concerned about what they were talking about, the meat plants closing down. Even though they said one of them now is going to reopen, she said they're too close. What about touching the meat, touching the wrappers? I mean, there are certain germs and certain things that can be frozen and then come back, guys. And this is not this is where it's not a normal disease or virus, whatever you want to call it, because you got to remember this thing is bioengineered. And I think we're going to see it mutating more, or it maybe already has and they just haven't even told us. But the bottom line is, with us being in America, or you in Australia, or you in Italy, or you in France, or wherever, we are free people. We cannot be locked down like this. It's just not going to work. And not everybody's going to do it. Which brings me to the other thing. I personally am not getting tested or taking any vaccines or anything myself. This is a decision I've made. I believe that they are keeping track of everything like that for some reason. And I'm still not 100% sure that once you get it, you're not a spreader and you're not contagious. It's really weird when you look at the elites. We're not watching, like, they're not showing. I mean, even the celebrities are not every day being showed or whatever. They're hiding. But this is something I don't believe, unless you totally locked down, you totally had supplies prior to this enough to get you through it, that 100% you can be safe, ever. But again, we can do our best. I think that's all we can do. And then the gimmicks about the sprayer machine that had nanites in it that was used to clean out the this is real nanites that was used to clean out like clean oil containers, and they're spraying that in the air all over the place. That concerns and scares the hell out of me. Maybe as much as cloud farts and whatever they were dropping for years. And I've only had one person contact me so far that said they're still seeing cloud farts. One. What does that tell you? Are they done seeding the clouds? Have they accomplished their goal? These are only questions that, we can kind of guess together or keep our eyes on things. What I do want you guys to watch, and I have not seen since the Wuhan days, is there was people that were like and falling over. And then there was a bunch of people rolling around like zombies in that one film I did way back when over in Wuhan. And with that, I'm going to close. Healthcare sucks! Over and out, my friends.